Harlem's historic Abyssinian Baptist Church has a new leader, the Reverend Kevin Johnson, taking over after a 2-year search, succeeding the legendary Reverend Calvin Butts. The process was not without controversy as Johnson makes a homecoming.
This is the day that the Lord had made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it.
As the 21st pastor of Abyssinian Baptist Church, Reverend Dr. Kevin Johnson knows the world is watching.
Being a pastor is no different than being a politician. You got to earn it.
Reverend Johnson, now 50 years old, says he preached his first sermon at 16, and he plans to use the pulpit of this famed, storied church to spread his message not just to the faithful, but to political leaders as well.
I do want to be a kingmaker. I want to decide who's in the seat so that when I call them, that they will listen and make sure they hear what I have to say.
Johnson first joined Abyssinian in 1997, along with his wife, Kimya. He was later an assistant pastor and left in 2007 to lead Bright Hope Baptist Church in Philadelphia before starting his own congregation there, Dare to Imagine Church. What do you think made you ready for this moment, this place?
I would say life experiences. For me, this was more of a calling. It was coming home.
Founded in 1808, Abyssinian has been led by pastoral giants Adam Clayton Powell Sr. and Congressman Adam Clayton Powell Jr., as well as Samuel DeWitt Proctor and Calvin Otis Butts III, who died in 2022. I spoke with Reverend Johnson after Abyssinian's homecoming Sunday service. He says he is humbled and ready to lead.
God bless you. You doing all right? Good to see you. Hey, bro. Man, good to see you, man.
Every time I walk into the space, I feel the spirit of Dr. Butts, Dr. Powell, Dr. Proctor. It's a reminder to me that this is holy ground. This is a sacred place. This is where black culture meets its faith and begins to transform the world.
You were blessed to have a relationship with Dr. Butts.
Yes, sir.
How do you think that shaped you?
Reverend Butts talked a lot about faith, justice, and community service. And for me, that is the essence of what the black church really is.
There are people who feel that the process that ended with your selection was flawed. There's even a lawsuit charging gender discrimination in that whole process. Yeah. When people come to you with questions about that, what do you tell them?
What I can say about the Pulpit Search Committee and the leadership here at Abyssinian and the great members who I want to thank is that everything that they did was done the way it should be done according to the church's bylaws, and I support what they did.
Reverend Johnson left Bright Hope in Philadelphia in 2014 under a cloud of controversy after reportedly clashing with some congregants. When people search you up online, they're going to see this brilliant man graduated at the top of his class at Morehouse. They're also going to see what happened at Bright Hope in Philadelphia. They're also going to see that you were disinvited from speaking at your beloved Morehouse, right? After criticizing President Obama.
I still spoke, though.
Well, but you were disinvited, but then it made headlines. But they're going to see that you criticized President Obama's economic policies. How do you square that for people? How do you explain that to people?
People were strongly behind my pastorate there at Bright Hope. It was the tabloid magazines and newspapers I had nothing to do with and I could not control. As it relates to Morehouse, I spoke. I was on the stage with President Obama. One of the things that Morehouse teaches you is that you must speak truth to power. Now, with President Barack Obama, I was the first clergy person in Pennsylvania to support him. But when I saw that he lacked diversity in his cabinet, I did what I learned from Reverend Butts, what I learned from Dr. Moss, and what I learned from others, is that you must speak truth to power, even if the person looks like you.
Hey, bro. Bless you, bro.
After church service, we walked the streets of Harlem. Reverend Johnson reflected on the moments and the footsteps he follows. Being out in the community, in the neighborhoods like we are right now, how vital, how important is that to you?
Listen, you can't be pastor of Abyssinian Baptist Church and not be in the community. The people got to feel you. I want to be known as the people's pastor.
And what does that mean? How does that translate?
I know what you're feeling. I know what you're going through. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I know the challenges.
Johnson says he sees himself as part of a new Harlem renaissance, a new future, always remembering those who came before him. How does Reverend Butts speak to you on an ongoing basis?
I feel his presence. There's a picture that's on my wall as I walk into the office. It's of my first installation as pastor. And they're laying hands on me and praying over me. And I have this picture, and I look at it every day. And I hear him speaking. I hear him saying, Kevin, keep the faith.
That was Reverend Butts' line, to keep the faith. Reverend Johnson says since he officially became senior pastor in mid-July, 45 people have joined Abyssinian Baptist Church.
So this divide that exists, Maurice, did he address how he plans to address that? What is he doing personally?
And trying to get the church membership back up. It was at 4,000 some years ago, well before COVID, and people have drifted away. So he is out there on the phone calling people individually, and that's how he's gotten this 4 dozen new members to show up. And he's using hip-hop, he's using pop culture, he's reaching out to people in ways that may be uncommon, but oriented toward getting younger members nowadays. So
like a grassroots effort going on there.
That's what he's calling it, the new Harlem Renaissance. We'll be watching.
Yes,
very interesting to see.
It's great to get to know him there.
Yeah.
Very nice. Thank you, Maurice.